हेलो एवरीवन। सॉरी, थोड़ा सा सिस्टम ठीक कर रहा था। वीडियो ऑडियो एवरीथिंग गुड। कैन यू हियर मी वेल? आज मैंने माइक का दूसरा जुगाड़ लगाया है। दीपक दीपक इज़ हियर। हेलो दीपक। वैभव, हेलो। जस्ट लेट मी नो इफ ऑडियो एंड वीडियो आर गुड। फिर एज़ यूजुअल हम लोग 10 मिनट तक वेट करेंगे लोगों के आने का, एंड देन विल स्टार्ट। All good. Okay, thanks for confirming that, Vaibhav. Guys, do you know I've got like one, two, three, four screens in front of me? It's very confusing sometimes. Alapan, hey Alapan, how are you, bro? Welcome to the stream. I think this is the first time you have joined, right? So, just to give you all a little bit of an intro about this whole crash course to comic art thing, So I have been planning doing a whole series of videos for a long time that will like cover all the basics and important things to keep in mind when drawing a comic book page, right? And I also wanted to do a proper demo where I create a comic book page from scratch. For the longest time I wanted to create a proper video on this, but then I'm too lazy to edit the videos. So you know what I thought is, like, maybe I'll just live stream them. It's better this way because anyway this process is going to be quite long. The whole process, right from doing the layouts to the finished inks, and maybe I'll color as well. That is, the whole thing is going to take at least 8 to 10 hours, and it'll be divided into several live stream sessions, several videos. So yeah, I hope this sounds interesting to you all, and I'm always excited about talking about the creation of a comic book page and sharing my process and my the thoughts that um, go around in my head when I'm drawing a page. So now that I have a medium to share my thoughts and my process, so I'm quite excited. And who else is here? All good, bro. Yes, couldn't join the previous streams because I have to complete the pages on weekends. By the way, I think your sound is slightly on the lower side. Okay, my sound is slightly on the lower side. That I'll have to fix. Is it the same for others as well? इसी का तो वेट कर रहे थे. Deepak and Vaibhav, like, is my volume like a little low or is it good enough? Also, it's been a few days, it's been raining for a few days here in Arunachal, and I'm also feeling a little under the weather, you know. हल्का जुकाम, खांसी जुकाम है मुझे, but I'm not gonna miss this very first session. uh, आवाज़ कम है bro. Okay, आवाज़ कम है, so I think I'll have to speak a little louder. ये क्योंकि मेरे ईयरफोन शायद ठीक से कैच नहीं कर रहे until I manage to get a proper mic. मैंने सोचा है जब मेरी YouTube से पहला रेवेन्यू आएगा, अगर मैंने मोनेटाइज कर लिया चैनल, तब जाके मैं माइक खरीदूँगा, अदरवाइज़ नहीं खरीदूँगा. I'm gonna do with this makeshift bootlegged क्या, सॉरी नॉट bootleg, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, bootstrapped mic only. ओके, दीपक के लिए सही है, ऑडिबल इनफ. ओके, आई एम ऑन हेडफोन्स. ओके, कूल कूल कूल. मैंने ईयरफोन्स लगाए हुए. या आई थिंक ऑन ईयरफोन्स इट्स क्लियरर, बट फ़ोन में थोड़ा सा या बट आई थिंक आई विल जस्ट स्पीक अ लिटिल लाउड. तो that should cover it up. 7-6 हो गए हैं. Let's wait for a few more people to join and then we'll start. So by the way, मैं ज़रा सा वीडियो में ठीक कर लेता हूँ. यस. और सॉरी ये सारी चीज़ें ना इट्स वेरी ट्रिकी फॉर मी, सो आई एम स्टिल सेटिंग थिंग्स अप. जस्ट गिव मी अ मोमेंट गाइस. तब तक हम वीडियो की सेटिंग बिठा लेते हैं. या एज़ यूजुअल आप लोग मेरे को कोई क्वेश्चन वगैरह कुछ है तो फिर वो शेयर कर सकते हैं. यस, लेट्स सी. योलो. हेलो अनुराग भाई. मुझे लगा था आप पेपर पर करोगे. ये भी सही है. आप दीपक, पेपर पे ना थोड़ा सा ट्रिकी हो जाता है. मे बी इंकिंग में पेपर पे करूँ या फिर किसी दिन इन द फ्यूचर आई विल डू सम सेशंस वेयर मैं पेपर पे इंक कैसे करता हूँ मैं वो प्रोसेस दिखाऊँ. बट फॉर नाउ आई थिंक डिजिटल इज़ द ईजीएस्ट. एक तो मतलब अलग अलग टाइप के वो क्या कहते हैं टूल्स वगैरह जो हैं वो एक्सप्लोर करने का मौका मिल जाता है. एंड इट्स जस्ट कन्वीनियंट यू नो. सो 7-9 हो चुके हैं. आई थिंक वी शुड स्टार्ट. ये मेरा ड्राइंग ग्लव मैंने डाल लिया. एंड लेट्स मूव द कैमरा अ लिटिल बिट. There are 8 people here. Hello. 8 लोग देख रहे हैं पर कुछ बोल नहीं रहे. Yeah. So guys, ये रही script. If you guys can see, this is a sample script that I found online from a website called Pencil Jack. Is there any trick to erase pencils nicely after inking without tearing the paper or making the inks lighter? You can try using kneadable erasers. I think they like pick up the pencils only mostly. Aditya is here. Which iOS app is best for beginner in digital art? I haven't tried a lot of them, but I think Procreate is the best. Anyways guys, let's get back to the main thing of tonight. And as you can see on the screen, we have a sample script here which I found on this website called Pencil Jack. And let's give it a quick read. Spider-Man sample script written by Shan Lee Cook. And page 1. For those of you who haven't seen a proper comic book script, this is how the scripts are. This is how a standard American Marvel Comics script looks like. streaming this while making Inktober drawing. Okay, great, great. Because why? Carry on. And so page one, and we have 4 panels in page one. Panel one is the establishing shot, aerial view of New York City. We are high above the busy city. We see a stream of black smoke running across our view just below us. Okay, so we are like looking at the city from the sky, and we also have a stream of black smoke running across, just below us. Interesting. So panel 2 is, there's no caption, so no caption is written there. And we have panel 2. Panel 2 is, imagine we are in an office looking out the window as Spider-Man swings by. He's chasing the cause of the black smoke. Okay, classic Spidey. Spider-Man, he's thinking, why me? That's all I want to know. Okay, and now Spider-Man is shouting, Gabe, stop before you hurt somebody. Okay, who's Gabe? Let's find out. Panel 3. We are looking over Spidey's shoulder as he stands on the edge of a rooftop on his classic pose. Just beyond him, we see the Grey Goblin. Okay, Grey Goblin, who is Gabriel, I think. We see the Grey Goblin hovering on his damaged glider. He has one hand hidden behind his back. Okay, and Goblin has a dialogue: stop following me, Peter, or you'll be responsible for the death of all those innocent people down there. Spider-Man, don't do it, Gabriel. Panel 4, reverse angle. We can clearly see a pumpkin bomb in the Goblin's hand with his thumb activating it. Spidey's Spider sense is going off. Goblin, I gave you a chance to. Then Spider-Man says, wait, think about what you are about to do. You'll kill them all, Goblin. This isn't for them. Okay, that is our page 1. And Vishal is here. Hello Vishal, hi, thank you for joining. So this is the script, guys, and let's let's talk about some of the basics that you need to keep in mind before you start drawing. That is this. So always make sure you're drawing on the right template. So European comics have a different paper dimensions, and American comics have different dimensions of their comics, and manga have different dimensions, right? So always make sure that you clear that out with your publisher or your client, like which size to use, which dimensions to use. Otherwise, if you draw on the wrong size, that becomes very tricky. When the book goes for printing, it might not come out the way you intended it to, and it might be cropped at the wrong places. So always make sure you're drawing on the right size. So I usually draw on the standard American template, and Indian comics also mostly follow the American way of drawing comics, making comics. So the American template makes sense, right? You will find there a lot of sample templates on the internet. This is from Kablam, and they have very nicely detailed out all the important things that you need to keep in mind in your template, right? What you can do is you can just go to the internet, download this page, and create a document in your drawing app of this size, and just recreate this template on your own, right? So here are some things that you need to keep in mind. This is the trim line, right? This is the trim line. So this is the trim line. It's marked in red. So basically, this is where once the book goes for print, this is where the book will be the paper will be cropped out, right? Mostly. And that is why they have given a scissor here as well. So, and this is like the actual size of the paper on which the art will be printed, and this one, this blue box, is the safe zone, right? So when you're like, for the letters, for the dialogue balloons and all, or and all the important elements of the page, you don't cross this border. Otherwise, when you draw here or here, it might get cropped, and it might not show up in the printed page at all. So you need to keep that in mind. And but when you have like pages which are bleeding out, like you might have seen pages which like go all the way till the edge of the page, so you need to draw till here for that. And you need to keep your panel borders till here for the safe side, so that they don't get cropped. And keep your letters confined to this area only. By letters I mean the dialogues and all the text. Yeah, that's all that you need to keep in mind. And I already have a template made, see. So this is the actual size of the document, and this is the bleed, or the area that could be cropped. This is the size on which the paper will be printed on, and this is the live area. I don't draw my panel borders usually outside of this. Just a few things to keep in mind. And also I would like to mention these two books. This is Framed Ink by Marcus Matthew Mestre. I hope I'm not butchering his name. Yeah, Marcus Matthew Mestre, Framed Ink, Volume 1 and Volume 2. It has 2 volumes. Right now I only have Volume 1 with me. And this one, Understanding Comics. These two, and there are 2 more books, Theory of Sequential Storytelling by Will Eisner, and How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, I think, or Steve Ditko, I think, or John Buscema. So these 4 books, if you read them, they should cover you up for all the basics of storytelling in comics as well as in graphic novels, and like overall visual storytelling. You'll know all about that, the basics of that, and even the advanced levels as well. So just something that you should keep in mind, because I will be referring to a lot of terms and points that these books talk about throughout the whole series of these videos, right? So yeah, let's get started now. I don't know how many of you have used Clip Studio as your go-to drawing tool, for drawing software for comics or illustrations, but for me this is the best software there is to draw and even paint. I use this software to color as well, and for comics this is my best favorite software. I'm sorry guys, I'm fumbling a bit because of the cold that I've got. Yeah, and let's get started. So we'll just do the layouts for today, and in the next session we'll do the pencils and inks in the next session, and then I might even color and letter the whole page, right? So let's get started. So there are features in Clip Studio where they allow you to create panels like this. This is a very handy feature that Clip Studio has, but for now we will not be using it because I'll only be doing the layouts. So a few things that we need to keep in mind from the script, right? That's how I think usually. 1, establishing shot, that is panel 1, P1. We have New York. and there is smoke. These are the important elements of panel 1, right? 2, we have Spidey swinging, going towards the smoke. And 3, he is standing on a rooftop. And 4, so there are a few things happening in panel 4, right? And usually the writers, they, even though they don't want to, but subconsciously they describe a lot in a panel, which is very tough to show, for the artist in a single panel. So in such cases you can break down the panels into like smaller chunks to show the action, and it's basically up to the artist. He could slow down the storytelling, or he could break down the imagery, the scenes, according to his will, if that tells the story in a better way visually, right? Okay, Vishal Sani is asking, Dharam, what is gutter bleeding? Okay, gutter is the space between two panels, and bleed is this, you know the area which um, might get chopped when the paper artwork is finally printed. वैभव को क्रैक नहीं मिल रहा CSP का. Okay, I am using the subscribed version. I have bought Clip Studio, I think a few years ago. They usually give heavy discounts, I think twice a year. Vibhav, 2-3 हज़ार रुपये में you will get the like perpetual license, that is basically like lifetime subscription, which is great. One of the best thing about CSP, then we can rotate page. We can rotate the page in every software, I think. Yeah, so there are a few things happening in the last panel. That is, Spidey is asking on the Grey Goblin to not do what he is going to do, and we also see that Grey Goblin is holding a goblin bomb. Is that pumpkin bomb? And Spidey's spider sense is tingling, right? So Spidey sense tingling for A, for B. No, we reveal that pumpkin bomb revealed, spider sense goes off, and then what else do we have? And Goblin says this isn't for them. I would like to give it a proper panel because it's a very emotional moment, I feel, so I would like to give that dialogue a standalone panel for that. Goblin focus. So these are the things that I keep in mind. Okay, so I'm gonna break down panel 4, that is supposed to be just one panel according to the writer. I'm gonna break it down into 3 smaller panels, because I feel that is how the story is told in a better and more clear way, and just keep in mind that whenever you do this, always be in communication with your writer or your editor, because some writers are very strict about what they have written and some are not, but still you need to communicate that and work, find a middle ground, and if the writer is fine with what you're trying to do, they will, that is great. But if they think otherwise, then I think you should find a middle ground. So yeah, let's get started. Let's do the panels first. Let's see. So art should not bleed into either yellow and red parts. Anurag bhai, yes, it can bleed into the yellow and red parts, but the chances of it getting cropped when the book is finally printed are high, so you need to keep that in mind as well. Even if the art is bleeding into the yellow and red parts, you should make sure that it's not the important bits. Otherwise, it might not show up in the printed book, and that would be such a bummer. I mean, in PS, we have multiple layers, we can rotate only selected layers. Okay, I do not understand that, but CSP. Maria, hello दादम जी, a little bit late तो कोई बात नहीं, यहाँ पे हम फाइन नहीं लेते stuff. No, you can nest those layers into one and then you can rotate as you like in PS. Okay, I don't know much about PlayStation, Photoshop, guys. Anyway, yeah. So let me increase the size of this. Also, yeah, one more thing to keep in mind. We usually have a panel, a prominent panel in a page, like it makes the page very interesting. So let me show you some examples. This is a book that I'm currently studying. It's Winter World written by Chuck Dixon, and art is by I think it's Jorge Zafino. So I love his work, and it's in black and white. Thankfully, it's out of print. I was lucky enough to get a copy for myself. So I'm studying his work these days. And okay, yeah, this is more important. So you see, this is the most prominent panel in this page, and this is probably the most prominent panel in this page. This is probably the most prominent panel in this page. This is probably the most prominent panel in this page. So you need to decide which panel you want to, make the most important in a page. And for this, I think I would like to make this third panel, that is Spidey standing on it. No, I would like to make this Spidey swinging, that panel, the most prominent panel of the page. So I will keep that borderless, just to keep it more, unless it's very important. I try to keep my establishing shots smaller, because drawing big backgrounds, big detailed backgrounds, it takes a lot of time, and you need to figure out ways to save time and do your pages quicker. So I tend to draw smaller panels for my establishing shots. Puneet Shukla, made it on time but forgot to comment. Thank you for joining, Puneet Bhai. Hina is here. Hello Hina. In case you get the time by, please add the resources you mentioned in the description. Yes, I'll do that as well. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to try drawing this page in their own way, then I have linked the script in the description. They can go and maybe draw along with me as well if you feel like. I'm speaking a little louder now, by the way. So is the volume better now, or is it still too low? Karthik, hello Karthik. So let's do that, and Spidey will be standing. So for that, let's give it this much space, and then here's the pumpkin bomb reveal, and close up of Spider-Man. I will keep these two panels the same size mostly. Also, I try to avoid like very wonky experimental panel designs unless it's necessary. The story demands for it. Say a scene has like your main characters doing ganja and they're hallucinating and stuff. So maybe then you can have wonky panels, experimental panel designs. But if nothing like that is happening in your story, I would rather just go with a simple panel layout. Always go for clarity. So yeah, we have the panel borders now, and I will be doing quick um, so quick drawings for the layouts. This is the stage like where I'm mostly planning my storytelling and my shots, like how I compose them and how much to show, the level of zoom, and the angles, camera angles, and all of that. And it's not like it's like too hard and fast. Sometimes I feel like I can do something better when I'm penciling, so I change the layouts as well. But for now, it's like I just want to get something down on the paper, right? So we have New York City. I usually like to gather references before I start drawing, but today, I was a little short of time, so I forgot to gather references. So I'm just gonna, you know, do a quick rough version of New York City from my mind only, whatever I have seen in the photos and movies and shows. So when drawing any establishing shot, you need to keep in mind if it's based on a real life location, then always try to include something, some unique, important, or significant element of that location. Could be a building, could be something, could be a park or something that instantly tells the viewer that this is this specific place. So right now, for example, we have New York, so I will keep something in this shot that tells the viewers that this is New York without the caption having to tell them, right? Always remember, show, not tell. So that rule applies here as well. It's good. Okay, the volume is good now. Cool, cool, cool. I need to speak loudly. I hope my neighbors don't come here and complain of my loud voice. So here we can think of the composition rules, like rule of thirds, right? I'm thinking of that. So I'm gonna keep something important to the story either here or here. So let's have a perspective like this, so that all these perspective lines are intersecting here, and our eyes will go directly there only. So let's have a building here like this. Oops. And one here. So I'll be keeping this one fairly dark, once I shade it, so that our eyes, this I'm keeping this place open, so when our eyes will naturally travel from here and they will be blocked here, right? So I'll just randomly do some buildings. You can find a lot of beautiful photos of New York if you Google them. So and we will keep, I'll add some important building here that is going up in smoke. Oops. let me check the script again. I usually read my scripts multiple times, 3 to 4 times, so that I know what is happening, when it is happening, and who is doing things, right? To know the story properly, understand it, and then I go down and do the layouts. We running across our view just below us. Okay, the smoke is going right below us. Here's the building, and this is the smoke, right? As we move ahead into the process, I will talk about contrast, how to guide the eye. All of these things, work subconsciously on the reader. They might not seem so obvious, but when a person is reading the book, it is quite obvious to them. So this is our first panel, guys. This is the smoke. This is New York. I usually name my panels, but it's okay. Right now I'm not gonna do it. What is rule of thirds? So, Anurag bhai, rule of thirds is a composition rule where any image or any scene is broken down into thirds like this, like this, equals, and you can place your important elements here, 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 here in respect to these spaces, and that will make the eye pleasing, because our eyes tend to go here, 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 and here, usually around this area. I use this a lot, and when you watch movies, you will see a lot of shots where the characters are placed like this, one here, not never here and here, unless they want to deliberately break the rule and show there's a big distance between them. So that is rule of thirds. If you notice, it's usually used in movies and photographs a lot. I wish I had some movie shots handy right now. I would have shown it to you. Yeah, so panel 1 is done, and now we have panel 2. Panel 2 is, imagine we're in an office looking out of the window as Spider-Man swings by. He's chasing the cause of the black smoke. Okay, so I don't want to show all of that. I'll just show a cool shot of Spider-Man. Now this is the tricky part with popular characters like Spider-Man. These characters have been around for like decades, right? Spider-Man is what, 60-70 years old, I don't know. So a lot of great artists have worked on this character, and almost every angle or pose or composition that you can think of has been taken, right? So it's really tricky to come up with something truly unique and original. Whatever you draw, it will always be inspired by something, or will be like resembling some other piece that has been already done. Rule of thirds is the best thing I have learned. It's very useful. Yes, I use it a lot. Good evening. Good evening, Abhinav. So do this. You can always have fun with different Spider-Man poses though, you know. He is such a flexible guy. You can have very wonky poses for him. I will have him bleed into this panel as well. So that it kind of connects. This panel also, yeah. I will show his web going like this. Like this. And I want to connect panel 1 and panel 2 in some way, let's see how we could do it. I think we can show a tiny figure of Spider-Man here so that it doesn't feel out of place. Yeah, can do it like this. Spider-Man swinging, yeah. And then it will not feel out of place, and to just keep Spider-Man in focus, I'm not gonna draw a background here. Remember, you need to save time and not draw when it's not absolutely necessary. Not draw a background. Yeah, that's panel 2, and let's do panel 3. What's written? Panel 3. We're looking over Spidey's shoulder as he stands on the edge of a rooftop in his classic pose. Just beyond him, we see the Grey Goblin hovering on his damaged glider. He has one hand behind his back. Okay. So the focus is on the Grey Goblin, right, in this panel. So Spider-Man has jumped, and let's give him this cool pose, like he has just landed on the rooftop. Oops, no, don't want to show his head. Something like this. Nope, it's not looking good. Let's go for a low angle. Don't need to show the whole thing, so also always remember, you need to have a mid shot, establishing shot, and close-ups in your page to make it look interesting. It's not absolutely necessary, but usually the standard pages have something like that, unless it's just a bunch of talking heads, right? This is not coming out well. I don't think about anatomy much while doing the layouts. I think about the total whole energy and angles and the composition mostly. We'll figure out the anatomy part later. Okay. Why this is not a tutorial? This is a gold mine for comic learners. Okay, I'm glad. Hello, I'm a student. I'm doing a research project on comic books. I wanted to know about publishing from a person who is actually in the industry. It would be really insightful if you can share it. And what would you like to know about publishing? There are a lot of um, parts to it. There are a lot of aspects to it. टीचिंग इतनी अमेजिंग है कि लग रहा है चीट कोड्स मिल गए कॉमिक बनाने के. ओके, चीट कोड्स तो नहीं यार, मतलब यू स्टिल नीड टू लर्न हाउ टू ड्रॉ कूल एंगल्स, हाउ टू ड्रॉ एनाटमी, हाउ टू टेल अ स्टोरी properly visually in an engaging way. So yeah, you can ऐसे यहाँ पर you can add like a bit of web here as well, as if Spidey just jumped there. And it's the rooftop. Oops. Let's keep it here. Actually, show this. Yeah, and then Green Goblin. Okay, I don't know his costume. Okay, I need to get some references for that, but अभी के लिए I'll just use my brain power, दिमाग की शक्ति. दिमाग की शक्ति से याद आया, जो महान कवि हैं राजपाल यादव, उन्होंने एक कविता लिखी थी, कोई फिल्म थी उसमें, लिखी नहीं कही थी. मैंने तुमसे प्यार किया तेरे बाप ने मुझको पीटा, मैंने तुमसे प्यार किया, तेरे बाप ने मुझको पीटा, तन की शक्ति मन की शक्ति बॉर्नवीटा। सीरियस सर, डेली कितना जेस्चर ड्राइंग करते हो? मेरा लाइंस तो अभी भी अर्थक्वेक से निकलती। मैंने अभी तो मैं जेस्चर्स नहीं करता हूँ। आई मीन अगर ये वाले जेस्चर्स की बात कर रहे हो तो डेली ड्रॉ करता हूँ, बिकॉज आई एम ड्राइंग कॉमिक्स एवरी डे। बट कॉलेज के टाइम पे आई हैव डन अ लॉट ऑफ जेस्चर स्टडीज़ एंड माइन आर नॉट एज गुड, यू नो। अगर तुम्हें जेस्चर स्टडी करने हैं तो फिर ब्रूस टिम का काम देखो, सुमित कुमार का काम देखो, ग्लेन विल्पू का काम देखो। ये उसके थ्रस्टर्स जेट के। ये क्या बोल रहा है कि स्टॉप स्टॉप फॉलोइंग मी पीटर और यू विल बी रिस्पॉन्सिबल। ओके, नेवर न्यू राजपाल यादव वाज अ पोएट। किसी मूवी में बोला था ये उसने। ओके, लेट्स से काम चलाते हैं अभी फॉर नाउ। When I'm penciling, I'll refine that pose, you know. And now we have यहाँ पर let's make some buildings, and his glider is damaged. Let's add some broken pieces here, and then there's smoke as well, right, from the damaged glider. I haven't read the whole script, so I don't know if there's something, there's smoke coming from a building or the glider only. Wow, wow. So ये हो गया, and there's another building here, another building here. Yeah. Okay, let's think that there's smoke here, right? And smoke is coming from here. Both are flying. So Spidey is not in focus here, so we will keep it dark. Now we move on to the next panels. So now we flip the camera, right? So we show Goblin's hand. The important element here is that he is holding a pumpkin bomb. So we keep it here. कॉमिक आर्टिस्ट के दिमाग में हमेशा होता है कि एक दिन अपनी कॉमिक निकालूं। क्या आपने भी ये फील किया था कभी, और रियलिटी में कितनी हिम्मत चाहिए होती है उसके लिए? हाँ, मैंने हमेशा फील किया है वो। मैंने बचपन में अपनी खुद की कॉमिक्स भी बनाई हैं, और मैं अभी भी अपनी खुद के कॉन्सेप्ट पे एक कॉमिक बना रहा हूँ, जिसको मेरे राइटर दोस्त विजय रविंद्र ने लिखा है। मेरी हेल्प की है लिखने में, स्क्रिप्ट उन्होंने लिखी है बेसिकली। एंड हाँ, मतलब आई थिंक क्वेश्चन क्या था, सॉरी। कितनी हिम्मत चाहिए होती है? आई मीन उतनी हिम्मत तो नहीं चाहिए होती है भाई, बस आपको थोड़े पैसे कमा लेने हैं, क्योंकि उस प्रोजेक्ट के लिए आपको पहले तो कोई पे नहीं करने वाला है। तो जब थोड़े रिजर्व में पैसे आ जाएं, फिर आप जो है बनाना शुरू कर सकते हो। स्पाइडरमैन क्या बोल रहा है? डोंट डू इट, गेब्रियल बोल रहा है ना? नहीं नहीं नहीं, हाँ ऐसे कुछ बोल रहा है। ये हो गया स्पाइडी। बिल्डिंग्स हैं भाई। यहाँ पर एनवायरमेंटल वो देने के लिए कुछ कबूतर वगैरह भी बना सकते हो इससे उड़ते हुए। यहाँ पर भी कबूतर, स्पाइडरमैन को देख के कबूतर उड़ गए। बस ये हो गया। एंड I get it, publishing is very broad. How about this? Can you tell me the income model when you're working with a big publisher like Marvel, DC, or working with independent publishers? Okay, so comic book creators, artists, writers, and whoever is part of the whole chain of comic creation, they get paid per page. Like in India, mostly the publishers are independent, so they pay you your per page rate only. And for bigger publishers like Marvel or DC or other big American publishers, they pay you royalties as well when your book sells a lot of copies. मैं ये देखते हुए एक बहुत डार्क शेडोज़ वाली इंकिंग वाली कर रहा हूँ, और मुझे लाइटिंग समझ नहीं आ रही है। कीप इट सिंपल ब्रो, लाइटिंग में। अब स्पाइडरमैन का डायलॉग है ये, वेट, think about what you're about to do, you'll kill them all. लेआउट करते हुए ये भी ध्यान में रखिए कि you need to have space, ample amount of space for the letters, so that it doesn't cover the important bits of your work. यहाँ पर स्पाइडर सेंस, एंड देन we show यहाँ पर ग्रीन गॉब्लिन का फेस. This isn't for them, it's supposed to be. Let's go close, उसकी आँख और मुंह पे फोकस करेंगे. जब मैं एक्सप्रेशन बना रहा हूँ तो अपने आप मेरे चेहरे पे एक्सप्रेशन बनते हैं वैसे वाले, तो वैसे वाले नहीं. लेट्स गो फॉर अ लो एंगल लाइक दिस. This isn't for them. Yes. So what I do is I usually give like suggestions for dialogue balloons as well. तो यहाँ पर in panel 2 we have two dialogues, like two text boxes. One is Spider-Man's thought balloon. Why me? That's all I want to know. And he's also shouting. So let me just make some suggestions here. His thought balloon will be here, and then the other dialogue could be somewhere here, I guess. And then panel 3 is Goblin and Spider-Man. Goblin's dialogue here. Stop following me, saying stop following me. Somewhere here. And Spider-Man's dialogue will be here. And then Goblin says, I give you a chance here, and then Spider-Man's dialogue will be here, and then Goblin's dialogue will be somewhere here. And this is how I send my layouts. This is how I do my layouts, guys. Son Goku. Hello, Son Goku. So guys, once again, this is the script. Let's just recap, right? You read the script, give it multiple reads if you need to, and then always remember the template of the page, the dimensions of the page, and uske baad mein just do like rough scribbles for your layouts, right? Keep the important elements of each panel in mind, and then design your page according to that, and use compositional rules like rule of thirds or golden ratio, as much as you can, and always keep in mind that you need to tell the story clearly, and you need to always give enough signs and directions, so like subtle cues to the reader that they are looking at the right and the most important thing in the panel, right? And their eyes should flow naturally. You can see here, if you look at this page now, this is how I was thinking. We start from here, right? And our eyes go here, and then from here it comes like this, and then it comes like this, right? Comes like this. Even this Spidey's hand and his legs, all of these elements are focusing on, like, trying to guide the eye slowly, like this, right? That is how I want the readers to read the whole page, and that is my most important goal of the whole process, right? To guide the reader's eye properly, giving them the information that they need to know about the story clearly. Creators like Sean Murphy and Frank Quitely, Sumit Kumar, Dev Malya Pramanik, they do it in a beautiful way. Dave Gibbons, the co-creator of Watchmen, they do all of these things in such a beautiful way. So anyway, let's get back to chatting now. Oops, I pushed the wrong button. We have some questions here. Thank you for answering my previous question. That is Vivan Soni. I have a couple more questions. It would be really helpful if you could answer them. Sure, dude. Ask away. Son Goku is tomorrow is Nagaraj's birthday, but I'm not able to draw him. Good. What to do? I see your drawing process. Can I see the script again? Did you saw Alex with the artwork? Okay, so you can find the script in the description of this video, Son Goku, And Nagaraj, if you want to draw something related to Nagaraj, I think you can, if you are not a professional artist at this moment, you can just copy somebody else's artwork to celebrate Nagaraj's birthday. And Alex Vede, no, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. What is your POV on his art style? Again, I haven't seen his work, so when you are working with independent publishers and big publishers, how do you feel about creative freedom? If you can please also tell how other artists, such as writers, have freedom. I think in comics, the art department has a lot of freedom. You know, they usually don't get a lot of feedback also if they are a good artist, good creative. The writers, they usually have to like brainstorm a lot because they are, you know, the first person who is driving the story, right? And they are in touch with the editors or the publishers mostly, you know, because that is the most basic like thing of the whole process, right? Taramai, tomorrow is Nagar's birthday, but I'm not able to draw. Okay, thanks. Taramai, okay, message retracted. How's Indian Spider-Man comic going, Taramai? I'm not drawing Spider-Man India's comics these days. I'm doing something else. And I have received some questions in my Instagram channel as well. Let's see. There is one question by Puneet Shukla. About the last two panels, would that be a good decision if you make a goblin super close goggle eyes with some more facial features, facial structure with Spider-Man in the reflection of? Yeah, that is a creative uh, way of thinking, Puneet bhai. Yeah, that would be very interesting. In fact, I'm gonna do that. You know. And right now, I don't have like, you know, any references. I don't remember how the goblin looks exactly. Now that you told me, I remember that he has glasses in his eyes, right? And we can definitely see the reflection of Spider-Man there. Very clever. I asked one question, थोड़ा lengthy है, so यहाँ possible नहीं है type करना. Can you please check that? Yes, yes, yes. First question that I received in my soapbox is how to imagine everything while drawing. Vikas bhai, okay, I think reference, you can't really imagine. Now this is my opinion, right? Other people's mileage may vary. So my take on this is that you can't really imagine anything from scratch, right? You need to either have references or um, you need to have done a lot of studies that you know how things work, how something that you are trying to imagine would work in real life, right? And if you're talking about like human figures or animal figures, you know, you need to understand how their anatomy works and how different shapes would look in from different angles in different lighting, you know. And yeah, I think you need to understand the basics of how a cube would look from different angles, or how a circle, or sorry, sphere or a triangle, a cone would look from different angles. And everything you draw, everything we draw, is basically a more complex version of a sphere, a cube, and a cone only, right? Next question. I have one multi-part question. This is from Alapan Bhai. What was your process like when you were working for the Spider-Man India series for Marvel? I mean, what was the deadline? How did your thumbnail get approved, and who approved them if it needed any approval? How did you manage your time? Just wanted to know your whole process and experience. Okay, so Marvel or any big comic book company, really, they don't like give you a lot of revisions unless it's extremely necessary, because they need to put out books very quickly, right? So um, I used to do the thumbnails and send them to the writer, and the editor of the book, that was Nick Lowe. He's a very senior editor, so he used to give me very minor feedback here and there. Otherwise, mostly my thumbnails would get approved in a Ziffy, you know. And my whole process is like, so basically Marvel Comics issues are usually 20-22 pages, right? And I used to read the whole script, and in okay, so how many days we get, right? I'm sorry, I'm just a little breaking up in between. So um, usually you get around 40 days or 5 weeks, you know, approximately 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks actually, to finish one 22 page comic, where either you're penciling or penciling and inking, you know. So that's how much time they give you. And what I do is, in the first week I do the thumbnails of all the 22 pages of script that I have received, and I send them, and I get the script thumbnails approved. And after that I start penciling, and I would pencil maybe 10 pages and then ink them and then send them, you know. I'd like to work in batches, as in thumbnails done first and then some pencils and then inks, because when I'm in the zone of thumbnailing, then I only like to thumbnail, and then when I'm in the zone of penciling, then I only like to pencil, and when I'm in the zone of inking, I only like to ink. It makes the process whole lot smoother and more efficient in my experience. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Alapan bhai. And what more questions? What are the artists those influence you and the most in your art style? Lots of artists. Growing up, Anupam Sinha, Lalit Kumar Sharma, Hemant Kumar, Abhishek Malsuni, Sumit Kumar, Gaurav Srivastav, Mukesh Singh, Jim Lee, David Finch, Brian Hitch. These days I'm looking at Sean Gordon Murphy's work a lot, and as I told you, I'm looking at Jorge Zafino's work a lot, you know. And I'm kind of breaking away from the mainstream comic book styles and trying to look at um, artists who have done things a little differently, you know. And I tend to gravitate towards art styles which look very organic, as in done on paper with traditional methods, you know. And is that Campfire comic Sita artwork in your back, Tadamba? Yes, that's a poster that I bought back in 2017 or 18 in Delhi Book Fair, I think. It's a beautiful poster, so I kept it. What else? And you celebrate Inktober? I don't really get the time for that, man. Thank you, Son Goku. Do you first send your initial layouts to the editor, and then after their approval move towards the final layout and pencils, or do you get the freedom to move about as you like in terms of layouts? I do the layouts and then I send them to the editor, and then they approve them, and after that I do the pencils, and then I send them the pencils and they approve the pencils, and then I ink them. Yeah. So we are already past the 1 hour mark today, guys, and I'm really happy that so many of you joined today. You know, I also, like, I have seen a lot of people have joined my YouTube channel recently, so I would really like it if you check out other videos as well, and maybe share my channel and my videos with your friends in your circle. I mean, you know, that will give me some visibility and you know, help me reach more people, those who might be interested in what I'm doing. And you know, I always enjoy talking about the process and, you know, what I'm doing and the way I do things, and in doing so also to help aspiring artists, you know, gain industry insights and you know, answer any questions that they have. So I hope today's session was helpful. I will see you all next Saturday, and you know, I will if you have any questions, like, you can join my Instagram channel. You can go to my profile and you will see that it's called Tadam's Soapbox. you can just join my channel and you can always shoot your questions there, and I'll make sure to answer them every Saturday when I'm doing the live streams. It's always better to answer your questions on video than chat. So Karthik is saying thank you so much for the live class. You're welcome, Karthik. Nice stream, bro. Hope you can continue this. Yeah, man, I mean, I want to keep doing this. I really love interacting with all of you and showing off some of my skills as well. So yeah, it's always fun. I hope I can continue doing this. And so the cartoonist, thank you for answering. Glad to know the process. Please continue the good work of sharing your work, sharing our wisdom. Thanks a lot, Anso. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining. And I think it's time we end this for tonight. And yeah, have a good night and take care. Bye bye.